Queenie was an older man now, and the desire to do something big, to have the independence to run his own shop, must have eaten at this Midwesterner, described by those who knew him well as irascible, tenacious, a bulldog, a real table pounder. He had a relentless stirring within him, his son once remarked. From an early age, Queenie threw his heart into salesmanship, not chemistry, though this professional path was one born of necessity. He was the eldest son in a household of 5 children and grew up in Chicago. His mother, Sarah Flaherty, and his father, John, had come to the United States from County Galway, and by the time they had their first child in 1859, the elder John Queenie had secured a steady job as a building contractor. The family made much of its money from rents accrued from housing investments purchased via family savings. Then, in 1871, tragedy struck. The Great Chicago Fire, a conflagration that destroyed more than 3 square miles of the city, also consumed the family's investments. The younger Queenie was forced to find work. He was just 12 years old, with 6 years of public schooling to his name and little vision for what he wanted to do. But in 1871, that was really beside the point. His family needed money, badly. Years later, John Queenie explained why he ended up at the wholesale drug firm of Tolman and King, saying, "I took my first job as an office boy in a drug concern at $2.50 per week because that was the first one I happened to run across." Such was the contingency of life that drove Queenie into the drug business. By all accounts, he was a hard worker. His first job was as a runner for shorts, which meant he saddled up in a horse-drawn wagon and called on other wholesalers to secure small amounts of drugs needed to fill Tolman and King requirements. Queenie's employer peddled everything from common chemicals, such as baking powder, the painkiller morphine, and the anti-malarial drug quinine, to wild patent medicines and quackery cure-alls. Take Brunker's Carminative Balsam, the champion of remedies for babies' fretting, teething, summer complaint flux of cholera and phantom, or for adults for dysentery flux, cholera morbus, Asiatic cholera, congestion of the stomach, or hemorrhage of the stomach and bowels. In an era in which there was no pure Food and Drug Act, such were the fantastical claims drug companies could make on potions and elixirs. Not everyone bought into the hype, including John A. King, Queenie's boss. When asked by the Chicago Tribune if he sold patent medicines, he replied, "Of course, but do not recommend them. I guess the most of them are bad. They guarantee to bring a dead man to life almost, and people believe it. I do not know what they are made of. I have no doubt that some of them would destroy an iron kettle." Dangerous wares, but Queenie moved them fast, speeding up deliveries by getting to know the traffic cops at major intersections. Queenie wore out more wagons than any other employee, his boss allegedly exclaimed. It was a good gig, and it brought in much-needed cash. For about a decade, Queenie rode his circuit in Chicago before setting off to take a job in New Orleans with another drug concern, I.L. Lyons and Company. Both Tolman and King and Lyons and Company were wholesalers largely dependent upon other drug makers to fill their inventories. This was the dawn of the chemical age, a time when big German firms such as BASF, Bayer, and Hoechst, collectively known as the Big Three, were moving beyond patent medicines derived from exotic plants and leading the way in synthetic organic chemistry. Organic here simply refers to chemicals synthesized from carbon-based resources. Most of these companies started out producing dyes, but diversified by the 1880s and 1890s into blockbuster drugs derived from coal tar, the thick, black byproduct left over in the furnace conversion of coal to coke, coke being coal without its impurities. Geography mattered. The Big Three benefited from their location near premier research universities, as well as their position along the Rhine River, which served as a coal conduit in the 19th century. From these fossil remains, Bayer produced aspirin, while Hoechst developed Novocaine, powerful drugs designed to alleviate the aches and pains of people living in a rapidly industrializing world.